3 years ago, Canadian veteran Ray Buxton and his Taiwanese wife bought their dream home, steps from the beach on the southern edge of Taiwan.
It's a nice area. It's beautifully quiet most of the time, especially at night.
But after a couple of months, that quiet was interrupted.
Right like a bat out of hell came these 2 fighter jets.
The Taiwanese planes scrambled from a nearby airbase to confront a fleet of Chinese fighter jets heading straight for Taiwan.
It's all part and parcel with CCP propaganda. I mean, show of strength, saber rattling, provocation.
So this has become something of a routine here. Chinese warplanes fly off in the direction of Taiwan. Taiwanese fighter jets are forced to respond, issue a warning, and eventually the Chinese planes turn back to the mainland. It's like this all the time with the noise.
This 80-year-old lives near the airbase and says the jet engines roar from dawn till dusk. Her bedroom ceiling recently collapsed from a shockwave. The local mayor says the Chinese flyovers have become a regular event, with the largest drills coming anytime Taiwanese officials meet with U.S. or other Western leaders, like they did this month. Now, every time Buxton hears the jets coming,
I wonder, is this it? Could this be it? Admittedly, there have been a couple semi-sleepless nights. We're worried about the future, just like many other people.
The Taiwanese have lived under existential threat for 70 years, and many have learned to ignore it. But Beijing's recent rhetoric and military moves are prompting some to prepare. This NGO is one of several recently launched to provide survival training for civilians, from first aid to search and rescue. Organizers overwhelmed by the demand, especially after Russia invaded Ukraine.
I think it drove home the message that our world can get turned upside down just like that, right, at the whim of an autocrat.
Well, Ukraine thwarted Russia's full-scale invasion. Recently leaked U.S. intelligence suggests Taiwan is highly vulnerable to a Chinese air attack, with barely half its aircraft said to be fully mission-capable.
Hi. Welcome to Thank you, Minister. Thank you for seeing us.
We put concerns about Taiwan's military readiness to its Minister of Foreign Affairs.
Is Taiwan prepared for the prospect of a Chinese invasion?
This is a very good question, that the Taiwanese people are more determined than ever in defending ourselves.
His government is extending mandatory military service from 4 months up to a year, while ramping up defense spending. A Ukrainian flag hangs in his office for inspiration.
The Ukrainians are able to withstand the onslaught of one of the largest military in the world. And that tells us that determination and strategy might matter. We are learning from the biblical prophecy of David versus Goliath. And I want to say that Taiwan will prevail and democracy will prevail.
There's a lot of catching up that needs to be done.
This Canadian security analyst has lived in Taiwan for 2 decades. After years of Taiwanese complacency, he says, Beijing's belligerence is a wake-up call.
Beijing, I would argue, shot itself in the foot with its major drills. It again makes it the threat all the more apparent to the Taiwanese, since they are adamant that they want to defend their way of life. They are willing to do what is necessary.
A recent poll found the vast majority of Taiwanese would fight to defend their democracy. The lesson from Ukraine: if a powerful neighbor invades, don't count out the underdog. Jeff Semple, Global News, Taipei.